Hi, my name is William Funderburg. I want you to understand that I am going to begin a petition to remove the American public's ability to freely carry firearms unless you are an officer of the law or someone who is in a position of authority to protect the U.S. citizens, because the American citizens cannot be trusted to keep their temper and refrain from using violence and using guns to harm people, innocent people at that. People are quick-tempered and quick to grab their gun. They don't think before they act, and thus they do not have the brain capacity necessary to be trusted to walk around with such deadly weapons. The Second Amendment says that a militia, being necessary for the security of the free states and the people's right to bear arms, shall not be infringed. It does not give the American public the right to bear arms, but it states that the American people shall have a militia that is regulated for their protection, and their rights to bear arms will not be infringed. They will have the ability to purchase firearms to protect the American citizens. It does not give the American citizens the free right to walk around with firearms. That is a misunderstanding of the Second Amendment of our Constitution. It is a misplay on words that unintelligent people seem to use because they feel they need the right to bear arms, when they should be able to trust the American government to put people in positions to protect us. We shouldn't have to run around looking over our shoulders and being scared that the next citizen is going to quickly grab his gun and start firing at people. Or some 17-year-old kid is going to run up into a school and kill 50 people because he's stupid and can't fucking control his temper. So yes, I believe that the American people, the citizens, do not have the right to bear arms and should not bear arms because they are not responsible enough to bear those arms. It would be one thing if people were using them to hunt, to feed their families, or to keep in a safe on a wall somewhere to protect their family in case of an invasion. We should not be walking around the city with open carrying guns, trying to intimidate the American people into fearing us. We should not be a society based on fear, but we should be a society based on respect. We should respect the next individual and his right to live freely. We should not walk around and try to use guns to intimidate him, to say, mess with me and watch what I do. What do you need a gun for? You got hands. If you're Billy Badass, use your hands. Don't be scared to take a punch. Don't be scared to get a black eye or a busted nose. I believe that those who hide behind guns are fearful. They are scared to walk around without that gun. They do not trust the government to protect them. So they feel they need to protect themselves. We pay taxes. We vote these people in. We put them in positions. Let them do their job. Let them appoint the proper people for our security. I do believe that guns should be taken out of the American people's hands. That the American people should not have guns. They are not responsible enough to hold guns. People are driven by hate, anger, fear, pride, ego. All these things fuel the hearts of humanity and puts everyone else around them at risk. So no, an ordinary citizen should not bear arms. The right to bear arms was not given to us in the Second Amendment. It was only a privilege bestowed upon us by the people we put into authority, the elect, the U.S. government. They gave us the privilege to bear arms. It was not a right. Again, I state that the Second Amendment says a well-established militia being necessary for the security of the free state. The people's right to bear arms shall not be infringed. It was referring to the militia, the organizations that are put into place for the security of the American people. So yes, I say take guns away from the American citizens. They do not deserve them because they are irresponsible and immature. They are quick-tempered, violent, prideful, resentful, and they always seek to force everyone around them to respect them through fear. So yes, take guns away from the American people. Take guns away from the American people. They do not need it. Guns being in the hands of ordinary citizens place everybody at risk. Look at Columbine High. Those kids didn't ask for nothing to be done to them. They deserved to live their life in peace. But no, because we, the American people, believed that we had a right to bear arms when it never was so. The family and members and parents of those young kids were able to buy guns, whether for themselves or for them kids, children. But those children got those guns in their hands, walked into an innocent school and harmed innocent people out of hate, retribution for being made fun of. Can't you see how putting guns in ordinary people's hands puts everyone else at risk because they are not responsible enough to use them? And no, the Second Amendment does not give us a right to bear arms. The right to bear arms was a privilege given to us by the elects, the governmental body that we put into power. The only people that had the right to bear arms without infringement was a well-established militia being necessary for the security of the free state. That is your military. That is your police officers, your sheriff organizations, the FBI, the U.S. Federal Marshals. Not the American people. The American people are not a militia. They are the free people of the American states. They are not a well-established militia. And thus do not have the right to bear arms. I hope y'all got something from this. And I do believe in this wholeheartedly that guns being in ordinary people's hands places everyone at risk because Americans are not responsible or mature enough to possess such deadly weapons. Look at the crime rate. And I'm not talking about all broad spectrum crimes. I'm talking about violent crimes using guns. There's at least 2 shootings in Shreveport within a 10-day period every month. Sometimes less, sometimes more. Guns may not harm, but irresponsible and immature people do. And thus, I believe that because we cannot trust the next individual to responsibly and maturely use these guns, they need to be taken out of the common people's hands. And I want to start a petition to have this done.